Have you ever lived in an apartment or house with a cockroach, mice, or pest problem? It's no fun. Pests can be irritating, but they are more than just a nuisance. They can cause you and your family to have health problems. If someone in your family has asthma or breathing problems, living with cockroaches or mice can make their asthma worse.
The most common thing we see related to household pests are roaches and roaches in the home. And these can be definite triggers for children that have asthma as well as children that have eczema, sensitive skin conditions. There are several different reasons why roaches cause problems in the home. Number one, it's their actual makeup. It's the outer shell of the roaches. They leave little pieces of that around, and that makes the asthma worse. The other are the droppings, the feces of the roaches, as well as rodents, rats and mice can also, their feces can be triggers for asthma and eczema.
Keeping your home free of pests requires a partnership between you, the tenant, and your building manager or property owner. In the next few minutes, we'll define the roles of this partnership and show you not only how to safely get rid of pests, but also how to prevent pest problems in the first place. As tenants, you need to do your part. Tell the building manager or property owner if you are having a problem with pests such as cockroaches, mice, or rats. Building managers want to find out how bad the problem is and where the pests are living. They will do this by putting out sticky traps inside your apartment. You may also use sticky traps yourself.
It is important to find out what type of pest you're dealing with, and the best way to find out is to put down some sticky traps. You can find these in your local hardware store, even your supermarket. Some good places are under your sink, behind your refrigerator, or behind your stove.
These traps don't solve the problem, but they do tell which pests you have, where they are living, and how many there are. Once you understand more about the problem, you can work on preventing and getting rid of the pests. First ask, how are the pests getting into your apartment?
Cockroaches like to hide behind baseboards, in your walls, under appliances, underneath the sink, mainly because they don't like light. And so you may have them and not even know that unless you come out in the middle of the night and turn on a light. Rats and mice are our most serious problem when it comes to pests, and you'd be surprised at how small an opening they need to get into your home. Mice need a hole as small as a dime. Rats need a little bigger, size of a quarter.
If you see a hole in the wall where mice might enter, report it to the building manager. Remember, mice can get through a hole as small as this pencil pushing through a piece of paper. Once the building manager knows about a hole or crack that may allow a mouse, rat, or roach to get into the building, they will seal it up with materials like metal mesh that mice and rats can't chew through. Sometimes they will use caulk to seal holes and cracks. It is also the responsibility of the building manager or property owner to keep outside trash covered and away from the building. Keep the laundry rooms and other lounges free of trash that can attract pests. And, if necessary, bring in qualified people to use safe pesticides to deal with pest problems. Another important way to prevent pests is to keep your apartment clean.
Pests need food to eat and they need water in order to survive. The kitchen is a great place to start. Here we have crumbs on the countertop and standing water in the sink. Don't leave food scraps or crumbs around. It attracts roaches. Jamal, remember our rule.
Let's just say someone's kitchen was under...
Of course, I got to set a good example. One of the best prevention and treatment measures is just simply keeping things clean. The dust collects the nasties that the pests leave behind. The kids play on the floor, so it just makes sense to keep the dust to a minimum. Piles of clutter are hiding places for some of these critters, so keeping things picked up can also help.
Sometimes, despite your best efforts, cockroaches and mice get into your home. If you are struggling with a roach, mice, or other pest problem, you may want to use pesticides. But be careful. Some products can be harmful to your family, and they may not work very well.
Hold it, I'll take that. This is not something that you play around with. If you watch TV commercials about this stuff, you might think it's okay to spray this stuff all over, but it's not. There's some dangerous stuff in here.
After you apply the pesticide, it sticks around in the house for a while. It can stay on surfaces. It especially can stay in soft plush areas like carpets, on fabrics, and even on toys.
Pesticides can harm children more than adults. Their minds and bodies are still developing. If they breathe or swallow pesticides, they could develop health problems that may not show up until they are much older. The bottom line is, don't use pesticides around your children. And if you do keep pesticides in your home, keep them in a locked cabinet or up high where children can't reach them. For much safer products, use gels and baits, or boric acid. These work better than sprays and stay contained where they are applied.
Boric acid is safe and effective. It is a powder, and you can puff it behind your kitchen appliances like your refrigerator and your stove. You can also use it up underneath your kitchen sink. And you never put it where you are preparing food. Contact gel is another safe and effective pesticide to use, and you apply it in dabs and strips where roaches travel. Again, you read the directions, and you never use it where you are preparing food. Some other useful things are ant traps, roach motels, and old-fashioned flypaper. These are safe to use if you follow the directions.
One of the most important things is to read and follow the directions. We can't overemphasize this enough. The directions help you know where to place the material, how much to place, and what to do to clean up. This is very important anytime that you use any pesticide in your home. Pesticides are either labeled to be used indoors or outdoors. Never use an outside pesticide in your home.
If you do end up needing an exterminator, make sure to prepare your apartment and let the exterminator know if you have children or pets. None of us wants to live with cockroaches, mice, or other pests. They are irritating, and living with them can make asthma and breathing problems worse. We all have our parts to play in keeping our buildings and homes free of pests. Let's go over a checklist. Call your building manager if you are having a problem with pests. Determine with sticky traps what kind of pest you have and where they are getting into your apartment. The building manager will seal holes and cracks and use other prevention strategies before using any pesticides. Keep your apartment clean of trash, dirty dishes, food, and clutter. These things attract pests. Finally, if the pest problems are not going away and you want to use pesticides in your own home, don't use sprays or foggers. Use safer, more effective pesticides like gels, boric acid, and baits that are put down where the pests live or walk. Pests are irritating, but you can get rid of them safely and effectively.
Wow.